Good morning, dear students. Welcome you all in today's history class. Today, we will complete the chapter Turkish Invasions in North India. Before I continue the chapter, I want to share learning outcomes with you. At the end of the chapter, you will be able to list the places invaded by Muhammad Ghori in India. You will also be able to state the factors responsible for the defeat of Indian rulers. Before we continue our chapter, let us revise first whatever we have done earlier. Dear students, we have studied that frequent wars among the Rajputs resulted in political disunity in North India, and the Turks took advantage of the weak position of caliphs. By the end of 9th century, they became governors of provinces. They declared themselves independent. Do you remember? In previous lecture, we discussed one of those governors. He was Mahmud Ghazni, a plunderer who got attracted by the great wealth of India. He invaded India 17 times, and his most destructive attack was directed against Somnath Temple in Gujarat. His invasions exposed the weakness of Indian rulers. Dear students, today we will discuss the story of another invader, Muhammad Ghori. Let us watch a video from Class Edge content first.
By the end of the 12th century, the Rajput dynasties were in a dominant position in India. North India was controlled by 5 major Rajput kingdoms: the Rathors of Kannauj, the Chauhans of Delhi and Ajmer, the Solankis of Gujarat, the Paramaras of Malwa, and the Chandelas of Bundelkhand. Meanwhile, a new kingdom in Ghor, founded by Ghiyasuddin Ghori, arose in northwestern Afghanistan. His brother, Muhammad Ghori, decided to conquer India largely for its wealth. He began his conquests by establishing control over the strategic areas of Multan in 1176, followed by Sindh in 1182. Later, he invaded Punjab and captured the fortress of Sialkot in 1185, followed by Lahore in 1186. However, the most significant battle that he fought was against the Chauhan ruler of Delhi and Ajmer. This was the first battle of Tarain. The Rajput king Prithviraj Chauhan inflicted a crushing defeat on Ghori in this battle. Muhammad Ghori did not take the defeat lightly. In 1192, he again attacked Prithviraj in the second battle of Tarain with a larger and stronger army. The Rajput army lost the battle and Prithviraj was imprisoned. Two years later, Muhammad Ghori defeated Rajput king Jayachandra in the Battle of Chandawar, thus bringing an end to the Rajput rule in North India. Ghori appointed Qutbuddin Aibak as the governor of his annexed territories in India and returned to Ghor. Aibak captured the fort of Kalinjar in Bundelkhand and Anilwara in Gujarat, thus extending Ghori's empire to other parts of North India. Within 10 years of the Second Battle of Tarain, the Rajput kingdoms declined and the Delhi Sultanate came to power and ruled for a long period of 300 years.
Gauri was ruler of a small kingdom of Ghor in Afghanistan. He was interested in India as he wanted to extend his empire. Here one thing we have to keep in our mind, that Mahmud Ghazni invaded India to plunder towns and temples. But Muhammad Gauri invaded India to expand his empire. So both invaders had different aim to invade India. The credit of founding the Muslim empire in India goes to Muhammad Gauri. He occupied Peshawar, Lahore and Sindh. Prithviraj Chauhan, a great Rajput ruler, he defeated him in the first battle of Tarain. But in the second battle of Tarain, Gauri defeated Prithviraj Chauhan and arrested him. Gauri took over Delhi and Ajmer. Later on, he crushed the power of Rajputs. He defeated King Jaichand and occupied Kannauj and Banaras. So let us revise first the places invaded by Gauri in India. Gauri invaded Peshawar, Lahore, Sindh, Delhi, Ajmer, Kannauj and Banaras. Please repeat once again with me. Peshawar, Lahore, Sindh, Delhi, Ajmer, Kannauj and Banaras. Here one thing is very important, that except of conquering Gujarat, Gauri was successful in his every invasion. King Bhimdev, ruler of Gujarat, he gave him such a crushing defeat that Gauri could never dream of peeping into Gujarat again. Gauri did not have a child of his own, so he put his territories under the charges of his most trusted slave and general Qutbuddin Aibak, who later on founded slave dynasty. We will study about Qutbuddin Aibak in next chapter. Dear students, do you know why Gauri was successful and why Indian rulers were badly defeated by him? There were some reasons behind it. Now, we will discuss them one by one. First of all, there was no unity among Indian rulers. Secondly, Indian society was following rigid caste system. The common people, they were not happy as they had no contact with rulers. Next is that some Rajput rulers helped the Turks against their own country. You must remember here king like Jaichand, who fully supported Gauri. Next reason was feudal system. This system also weakened the power of the kings. On the other hand, Gauri's army was well equipped, means they had good weapons. The campaigns of Gauri were well planned. The Muslims moved swiftly, means fastly. They moved swiftly on horses, and Indian rulers, they used old methods of wars. They used old equipments. They used elephants. So these were the important reasons responsible for the defeat of Indian rulers and success of Gauri. So dear students, I hope now you all are able to list the places invaded by Gauri. These places were Peshawar, please speak after me, Peshawar, Lahore, Sindh, Delhi, Ajmer, Kannauj and Banaras. Now you can also state the factors responsible for the defeat of Indian rulers and success of Gauri in India. Let us recall whatever we have studied today with the help of our textbook. Again, I will ask you a question and you will think upon the right answer. Okay. Gauri was a ruler of Ghor in Afghanistan. His aim was to extend his empire. Who laid the foundation of Muslim empire in India? Muhammad Gauri. The areas occupied by Gauri were Peshawar, Lahore and Sindh. Later on he added more areas in this list. The winner of first battle of Tarain was Prithviraj Chauhan, and winner of second battle of Tarain was Gauri. Gauri could not conquer a place. That place was Gujarat. Gauri also crushed the power of Rajputs and defeated King Jaichand. Who was Qutbuddin Aibak? He was most trusted slave and general of Gauri. Good. Now we will revise the main causes of the success of Gauri and defeat of Indian rulers. First reason is disunity among Indian rulers. Secondly, the caste system. It was also responsible for the defeat of Indian rulers. Why the common people were not happy? Because they had no contact with Indian rulers. One more system which weakened the power of Indian king was feudal system. And why Gauri was successful? Because his army was well equipped and his campaigns were properly planned. On the other hand, Indian rulers used old methods of wars. Muslim rulers moved swiftly on horses and Indian rulers used elephants. So dear students, you can watch this video lecture again to revise the invasions of Muhammad Gauri on India and reasons for his success. With this topic, this chapter is completed. Today I am sharing the full PDF of this chapter again with you. Kindly read the chapter again. Tomorrow I will share summary notes and back exercise of the chapter along with extra questions with you. Till then, bye bye. Stay home. Enjoy learning. Thank you.